think being promiscuous is a mental illness.
Wow.
I do. Why are you filling yourself up with all these different bodies, all these different spirits, all these different things? For what? That is a mental illness. What are you numbing? What are you hiding from? Why can't you be on your own?
Promiscuous women and religion are like magnets. They're just drawn to each other after consequences. Women don't convert at their peak. Faith becomes her cleanup crew. It's the same history, it's just hidden better. There's 3 phases for women and faith. It's indulgence, regret, and a rebrand. That's why she puts the Bible verse in her Instagram bio. And you can call it growth. She secretly knows it's her own reputation management. Her belief will always get louder when her past gets more inconvenient.
That's Eve's sin. Right. Eve wants to put the feminine ethos at the top of the hierarchy of value. That replaces God, right? And that causes the fall. And then Adam, he's such a cuck that's exactly it, is that he goes along with her. He doesn't stand up and tell her that maybe she shouldn't be listening to poisonous serpents. He doesn't. He consumes with her what she delivers so that she'll be his friend, because you know how useful men like that are. Yeah. And then when the fall happens, he complains to God that God made Eve and cursed him with her. That's the story. So it's not just women. And we got to get this straight. Women with their drive towards indiscriminate compassion, so that even the serpents are their children.
Red flag number 3 is she posts promiscuous content on social media. Anytime I see a girl, even if she's got John 3:16 or I'm a Christian, I love Jesus, God is my daddy in her Instagram bio, if I see butt crack, boobs, cleavage, bikini pictures, anything revolving remotely around that, it's an automatic DQ. Because what that tells me is that this girl has a father wound where most likely when she was younger, she did not receive the attention and the validation that she needed from her dad growing up. That was never there. Dad wasn't around, dad didn't care, dad didn't love her properly, and she never properly healed from that. And so going into adulthood, because she never had the love and the validation she needed from her father, she tries to find it in random men.
Do you want to raise your daughters to be grown, independent women? No, unless you want her to be single or divorced. She's supposed to be a helper, and she's supposed to be one with her husband. It says in the Bible that a son takes a wife. He leaves his mother and father and takes a wife. It says that a daughter is given in marriage. You know what that means? Her dad's still involved. My goal with my daughters was to make them strong, but not independent. What's the difference? An independent woman is not fit to be a wife. That's why they're single and divorced or marrying guys that are less than that they can then mother. My goal with my daughters was not to make them independent, but strong. My daughters, very strong. My wife, very strong. Strength is not a problem. Independence is.
When God curses the woman in Genesis 3:16, he says to the woman, he said, I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be contrary. Some Bibles will translate it against. Your desire shall be contrary to your husband. So what feminism comes along and does is like, you know what? Man, somebody telling you that you need a man to be happy, that like you should focus on your home, that you should like actually aspire to and celebrate wanting to have children. How oppressive. That's the ideological outworking of the curse of the fall on women. That is what feminism largely is.
Feminism tries to get women to care about anything and everything but what God has created. And progressives will frame gender roles as women's rights issues. And so I think that's a lot of the reason we're seeing women trend that way. And they want women to feel oppressed by the patriarchy. Feminism's opened the door for the redefinement of, and we've seen it, gender, sexuality, and family.
The scripture says an adulterous woman seeks for the precious life.
Come on.
That's Bible.
That's the Bible.
And I need to take men to the Bible, because if you look Proverbs, I think 5, chapter 6, 7, 8, you will begin to see that there are certain characteristics of an adulterous woman.
That's right.
Listen, it ain't because you balding, bro.
I want to add a man too.
You got a beer belly, bro.
Yes.
It ain't because you all that. It's
yes.
because the devil is using that woman to come after all of your destiny and tear up your
Yes.
family and everything that you've worked so hard for. It's not because you're all that. It's not because you're a baller. It's because you have a target on your back. And it goes for both ways.
Whew, that was a lot to take in. I'm not a Bible thumper, but I did grow up in the church. I remember my father would always tell me, your cookie jar is only for your husband, But when you no longer have fathers in the home, what you are left with is broken, promiscuous, unhappy, antidepressant-ridden women. Welcome to the Roxy Rokell Show, and today we will be looking at what Christian law and secular law have to say about female promiscuity. Let's roll the next clip.
3 signs she is likely promiscuous, meaning that she likes to have a lot of casual you-know-what. Number 1 is if she works in nightlife. So if she's a bartender at a club, a bottle girl, or works in VIP services, etc. To be honest, any job that really depends on their looks, this can be a day server at Hooters too. These women are used to receiving male attention, sexual attention, and validation ongoingly, and basically they're put into environments where they're probably more likely to act on sexual advances if the right guy comes along. Number 2, tattoos, especially like thigh tattoos and any exterior tattoos, or a girl with just a lot of tattoos. A girl who has a lot of tattoos usually represents somebody who is more impulsive and really just acts on decisions without even thinking about it, and just more free-spirited. And these women tend to be more sexually open and sexually experienced. Number 3, she's on TikTok engaging in the booty shaking trends or the body showing trends, etc. Swipe on your For You page, you'll come across at least 10 women within a 10-minute time frame of women doing this, and chances are they're more likely promiscuous too, because once again, they love the male attention and they seek it out for a specific reason.
There's going to be consequences to your promiscuity. They have a very, very hard time understanding that, and they get upset with it. And it's usually the ones that have a promiscuous past, they get very upset with it. But at the same time, it's very difficult to sit down with a 22-year-old and say, look, your value to your future husband is going to be your beauty and the lack of intimacy that you gave away to other men. There's no guy out there that has read even a few lines of an EvoPsych, a blog, a Twitter following, that doesn't think for a minute that a promiscuous woman that's been with 100 guys is not disgusting. These women, in my opinion, are disgusting. And I think guys innately are repulsed by women that have been with that many guys, right? You don't want to share a woman with that many guys. And if you're planning on having children, why would you want to share the womb that's been, used by other guys? Right. That's why throughout history, virginity was so valued to men and society, and why they tried to protect it. It's just in recent times that they've lied to women and they've said, go out and have fun. Guys do it, so you should do it too. And that's why we have the society. And it really started with hormonal birth control, because, then you could go and have sex without consequences, right? Before there was consequences. If you had sex, you could legitimately get pregnant. Now it's like they can prevent that almost completely and very safely 99% of the time.
Key signs she has a high body count. Number 1, she doesn't give sex easily, or sex is boring to her. You have to fight her to get sex from her when she's your girlfriend and or wife. My girls want to have sex with me all the time. I'm the one who has to say, no, I have to work. I'm the one who have to resist them. If it isn't that way, she has a high body count, because most girls, they have their fun, so to speak, and then they have so much sex that the opposite is interesting to them, which is not having a lot of sex. Number 2 is she's very opinionated or masculine. When females have a bunch of sex, they become very opinionated or masculine because they do this to protect themselves, and they eventually turn into the men that they want, the men that they can't get. So remember, if she's stingy with the cat or she's very opinionated, then you already know she has a high body count.
Why is female promiscuity so frowned upon? Across almost every society, across time, across cultures, we see words like slut, whore, hoe, son of a bitch, bastard. Human civilizations independently arrived at the same judgment. It is obviously beyond social conditioning, and it's more rooted in biology and survival. At the core of it, it's pretty simple. Men and women do not have the same consequences from mating. A woman can get pregnant, which carries a massive biological, social, and economic cost. 9 months of pregnancy, childbirth risk, nursing. And a man could technically just walk away with no immediate burdens. Because of this, society's built systems like marriage, virginity expectations, and social judgments to stabilize family units, to know who the dad is, and protect the children to raise good citizens into their civilization. So before DNA testing, controlling the access to women was the only way men could to make sure they weren't raising another man's child, which is an evolutionary dead loss after pouring all those resources in. The stigma starts to make sense because promiscuity isn't just about a person's choice. It has downstream effects on family structure, the trust, and long-term stability in a relationship. There's a huge risk of spreading disease. Like, think about before medicine, how rampant it must have been. There's a greater chance of single-parent households, which consistently shows worse outcomes for children across multiple metrics, like poverty rates increase. There's poor performance in schools, higher behavioral issues, there's dropout risk, and crime. It signals that single moms, she is not really picking a committed father, which is an evolutionary downfall that used to be bred out before modernity and socialist programs. Now layer in the modern world, where technology has broken these original constraints that shaped those norms. There's dating apps, social media, OnlyFans, and algorithm-driven attention creating this mating market on steroids. Gathering attention in this hierarchy often flows through beauty and looks, throw in corn on top of that, and OnlyFans. And it's as if these lust demons are sucking the souls out of men, constantly tricking them with 10 out of 10 women that are pushed through these algorithms, and it pulls away from real partners or soulmates. Likes, comments, and DMs flood the modern woman's digital ecosystem. Even mid-tier girls gain insane access to men. You can get a glimpse of this through like Tinder stats. Men swipe right at almost 50% of profiles to cast a wide net. Women are super selective and only swipe right on just 10% of men. Women match around 40% of the time, which is 8.4 times more than the average guy, which is getting at 2% of matches. This creates a strange feedback loop. So female selectivity skyrockets while male behavior splits. Top tier men end up mating with a disproportionate number of women, and they're banging the mid tiers and then ghosting them because it's an easy grab. That's why the promiscuous man is not frowned upon as much, because acquiring and seducing many women is difficult and signals status and competence. Other men high five to this. Notice how even other women will not congratulate each other for sleeping around. It's an inherent instinct. Women can easily have sex if they want to. They hold the power to select and shape our species by picking the top men. Men naturally do not want a wife who's been with many men. Studies show women with higher numbers of premarital sex partners, especially 9 to 10 plus, they face significantly elevated divorce risk. I mean, it disrupts the pair bonding. A woman with multiple partners is statistically more likely to cheat or leave, which then increases the odds of ruining the family unit. The men who do eventually commit to women with that much baggage down the line are usually lower value subordinates who know she holds power, so they get bossed around in the relationship. So when people say this is sexist or just a social construct and they scream we should all be sexually free, that reaction to me is just incomplete. I'm not saying wear a hijab, but it is crazy that every society develops some kind of lockdown on promiscuous women. These are instincts that have existed since we became civilized. We need paternity certainty. We need both parents investing in the survival of the child. Modern society has changed the game with birth control, welfare systems, abortions, and casual hookups. We're already seeing population falling in many places, rising loneliness. Social media and dopamine-fast luxuries are eroding the sacred fabric of courting a woman and procreating the best humans.
I noticed there are a lot of women on TikTok trying to normalize female promiscuity. I get it, ladies. You're trying to erase the sexual double standard. Way to go. But you should know that adopting a male model of anything isn't female freedom. You know what female sexual freedom is? It's access to free birth control. It's the ability to say no to any sex act and have that word be respected. It's having the bravery to ask for relationship definition. It's having access to abortion. It's understanding that your intelligent body can sometimes get attached through sex. Female sexual freedom is charging the highest price for sex. That is care and commitment. And most of all, female sexual freedom is knowing that you can and should walk away if somebody hurts you.
That all sounds good on paper, but the problem is women only have that standard for men they don't find that attractive. Charging the highest price for sex is something that we only do for a man that we don't really like or only like a little bit. If it's a guy that we really want, we are either going to be pushing hard for marriage so we can throw it at him or just give it to him for free. Women don't make the men they really want wait. Women make good men wait and then pick them once they have a trail of bodies behind them. At least women in America.
Men will put their in what they can put it in.
And they won't stay with them, but they will marry.
She just sat here and looked at all of us and said, oh, this is what men want.
I mean, ask them.
I seem to have a problem a little bit with men, like just comments that you're making, but yet you...
I have no problem with men. I'm straight. I love men.
I just heard like multiple just negative comments about men. Like
you
they like
do
to
realize
put
that men are responsible for 90% of the violent crime.
But you're sleeping with them, many of them.
Yeah,
so
but
do you
we
like?
We still love men. Saying, oh, I'm anti-man. I'm not.
I didn't say you were anti-man.
Men, a lot of them.
I didn't say you were
I'm
anti-man.
I'm so tired of feminists being labeled as anti-man. We're not. In fact, I think feminists help men because we're trying to relieve a little bit of pressure off of them.
Like, but they're not asking for that. They would rather you just respect them. They would just rather respect. They don't care about none of the things you have to offer.
Just because we don't worship men doesn't mean that we don't like them. I don't put them on a pedestal. I don't treat them like they're princes. I'm not like, oh, what great, amazing dudes. I like men just fine. I'm unfortunately straight too.
Question on this side, for especially for those of you who love men, right? Yeah. Right. What can you tell me something to love about men?
I like men the same reasons I like women. These are all just human traits. Mm-hmm. You're funny, you're smart, you're good looking, you take care of me. I have girlfriends like that. I'm not, I mean,
we're not talking about
friends or girls.
We're talking, because you said that a lot of people think feminists hate men. I want to know, without talking about women, only talking about men, what do you like about men?
I guess I'm trying to think about what makes men unique, though, because when I like a man, they're funny, they're smart, they're good looking. But I could describe a woman with these terms.
Okay, so you don't think that there are things about men that are unique necessarily?
Well, I mean, I'm born straight, so I can't say I choose to be attracted to men. This is how I was born. You know what I mean?
Right. So I think that I'm sexually attracted to men. I think they're pretty much the exact same as women. But if I were choosing to hang out with someone one-on-one, I'd probably pick a woman because I'd probably be safer because they probably wouldn't be trying to, I don't know, have sex with me as an ulterior motive.
So it sounds like a lot of...
But I mean, I just don't see men as a special category that they need to be worshipped in some separate way. Men are really the reason why I'm here.
But don't you know that men allow you to have your rights? Because if it really came down to it, they can just overpower you and take all of your rights.
Actually, I have rights because of women. I have rights because women
have
who
rights
came before
because of men.
Yeah. The reason why I'm able to vote is not because of men, but because of hard-working women.
And who allowed it?
A few good men.
Who allowed these things to happen? Men, not a few. A lot of good men.
This clip is beautiful because it shows the difference in mindsets and worldview. You saw one side couldn't even really say one good thing about men, yet they claim not to hate them. And the other side has clear respect for men and can acknowledge that without good men, bad men would take over and take all of our rights away. Women that think like this are always built strange as well. There was one lady on the feminist side built like a deep sigh. She had more chins than a Chinese phone book.
Should a man care about what his girl wears?
Absolutely. What women want to do is solicit attention. So when you wear a promiscuous outfit like that, you are soliciting the attention of other males.
No, definitely not. I'm gonna wear what I want.
Because he has no say on our lives.
We're gonna do what we want to do.
What he wants. It's our lives.
Yeah. Is your boyfriend here right now?
Yeah, he's back there.
Do you think you should have some say in what your girl wears when going out?
You know what? I'm gonna say no to that. You know what? She does what she wants to.
If his girlfriend is not here, I'm telling you, there's a completely different answer to that question. That's all I know.
You gotta let your girl trust your shit. You can't police that. She does her own thing.
But if I'm not here, his answer would be different.
Aw, she has him trained so well. We all know who wears the pants in the relationship. I agree with the other guy. If his girl isn't there, he would say what he really feels. But a good dog never pisses off its handler.
Man, you gorgeous. You'll never be my wife, though, but I'm never gonna tell you that. The same way you never gonna tell me the whole football team that did this to you. The same way you gonna tell me that the reason why you really moving from your city is because you got dugged out by everybody. Or all the athletes, the rappers, the club promoters, everybody done dug you out. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? It don't matter. It only matters if you're gonna be my wife. And you already automatically disqualified yourself. So baby, it don't matter. Let's get to the fun. Let's get to the fun part. Where I keep lying to you, I keep on lying to you because you're only gonna believe the lies. That's the fun part. I keep lying to you, then I just keep on stuffing something up inside you while I'm lying to you. I'm gonna keep on stuffing something, and you're just gonna keep on trying to prove to me that you're not promiscuous. You're gonna keep on trying to prove to me that you're a good girl when in reality, you're a 304. You're trying to run from that when that's really where you come from. Bars. So if that's where you come from, I'm gonna treat you as such.
This video is about females and barracks life. Now, if you was infantry in the Marine Corps 03, you don't know how to relate to this. This video is about co-ed barracks with females in the barracks. I'm gonna tell you something about females in the barracks. They are some of the most promiscuous people you will ever meet. I'm not trying to talk down, these are my fellow sisters and stuff. They are some of the most promiscuous people ever. The females, when they join the Marine Corps and come to the barracks, they get flipped and a bunch of guys on one girl, all kind of stuff is happening. And this is the #1 reason why. When females come to the military, the self-esteem goes up because of the service members are doing that to them. The service members tell them how pretty they are, how much they like. They're getting attention. This is for a lot of, not everybody. They're getting attention that they didn't get when they was in high school or back home. Now you come to the Marine Corps, you're in a new unit, you come to the barracks, everybody is on you. These are facts. And these females end up getting, they end up becoming promiscuous. A lot of guys end up having, it'd be like 7 service members that had sex with just one female. And everybody in the barracks knows it. It's crazy, man. And then a lot of fights happen over females. This Marine had sex with this female, and then another Marine had sex with a female. Let me tell you about a situation that happened when I was in barracks 1634, second deck. We was drinking this weekend, me, and a few of my other homeboys, I'll put it like that. But it was a dude that was in headquarters company. He was on first deck. We was on second deck chilling. We was all friends with him. He came up on the first deck, looked at second deck and he said, that's why so-and-so said you got a small so-and-so. Some homeboy say, what? She couldn't have said that. He said, you know what, man? Matter of fact, I'll F your mama. He said, and the girl they was arguing about was the biggest whore in the barrack. She was in headquarters company, first deck. Light-skinned black girl. She was the biggest whore in the barracks, hands down. White, black, blue, purple. She did not discriminate who she had sexual relations with.
I think that in order to be a high-value woman, you can't be a promiscuous woman. And I don't care what anybody says. I think that high value means exclusivity, and exclusivity means everyone can't get it. If anybody can get at you, that's not high value. Not to be confused with valuable. If you look at diamonds, all diamonds are valuable, but some of them have the highest value, whereas other ones get crushed into little baby parts and are the fillers for other pieces of jewelry. All valuable. But high value is different from valuable, especially if you're a high value feminine woman that wants a high value masculine man. You cannot be promiscuous. I'm sorry, body count matters.
So, wait, what? Okay, wait a minute.
As that last woman said, body count matters to men. Let's look at some women trying to cope with this reality.
The biggest lie ever told is that just because you have been in a lot of different relations with men that nobody's ever going to want you. And that is a lie. Like, there's women out here who have had, like, what men would deem as a high body count, and they still get with them, still wife them up, still take them home to their mom. And it all boils down to is how attractive is that woman to the masses? Do other men still want her? Do other men still want to obtain her? Do other men still want to get with her? As long as other men are still wanting to get with that woman, she's always going to, like, be able to get wiped up. Always. Because men like things to have things that other men want. That is the thing about it. And women are no different. Women to them are just like freaking cars and other collectible items that they want, that other men want. So you're really not even competing against other women in a sense. You're competing against the judgment of other men. For real. That's what it is. So this is just my opinion, okay? Like, take with this information what you want, and I'm not telling anybody to go do anything or to live any certain kind of lives, you know. I'm just saying, like, men are still going to choose what they want as long as other men want it.
More on this topic, because I didn't get that male attention when I was in high school, I was very promiscuous during my freshman year of college. And if you asked me why, I would have said, you know, I brought into the whole type of feminism where it's like sexual liberation, female empowerment. I'm 25, but if TikTok were around when I was in college, I so would have made one with that audio that's like, it's cool when they do it, it's a problem when I do it. But yeah, actually it is. And the reason for that is because a woman will never beat a man playing a man's game. Here's the thing, and I have to be careful with how I phrase this. When a guy is sleeping around, the reason why his buddies might respect him or why he's respected is because he's doing the one pursuing. You know, typically it's the man who's going to pursue the woman. So if he is able to get a woman in bed, that feels like a conquest to him. For me to say that it was equivalent when I slept with a lot of guys, it wasn't. The men were approaching me because, like I said, I didn't get validation and suddenly they wanted me, so I would just go home with them. And the other reason why it doesn't really matter is because even for sake of the argument, let's just say I were the one to pursue these guys, it would be very easy to get them into bed. Like, that's really not a flex. When girls make TikToks saying I pulled every guy I wanted, like, by pull, do you mean slept with? Because yeah, typically it's not very hard to get a guy into bed. This is not to encourage slut shaming or validate when guys say a good key can open any lock. Like, the way that men pursue women and just try to get them into bed and then move on to the next, like, no, that's vile, and we should not shame women who do get into bed with these men. My only hope is that women use more discretion. And this video isn't even anti-casual sex. Like, the reason that I said I participated in it was because I was empowered, but that really wasn't it. I just really liked the feeling of a guy wanting to go home with me. Because let's be real, if I were just doing it for the sex was not that great. You really have to know your worth. Like, if a guy is hitting on you and you are flattered, you feel like you have those butterflies in your stomach, you have to ask yourself, am I actually interested in this guy, or do I just like that a guy is interested in me?
If you're a physically fit woman, but you have a past that you're not proud about, I'm here to tell you that a lot of guys will not care as long as you're cooking and cleaning for them. Like, if you're really cute and you have a good personality, but you have made your mistakes in the past, a lot of guys are very forgiving. So do not let the guys that have preferences make you lose hope. Because maybe what you did in the past was wrong, but at least you learned from it. At least now you have the mindset of, oh, well, I'm going to take care of my man. He has nothing to worry about, especially because I have a past. He still will not have anything to worry about.
When I was a young girl, I was pretty promiscuous, which makes sense considering the job I do now, but I did very questionable things like sneaking over to boys' houses, them sneaking over to mine in the middle of the night, obviously without our parents knowing. And there's this one thing that I did that when I think back to it, I just absolutely cringe. It was so bad. So me and my friends went to this party, and at this party there was a guy there that I thought was cute. So we were hanging out, chatting, but when it was time for us to go to sleep, me and my friends went to go sleep on the trampoline outside, and he decided to join us. So it was him, me, and then my two friends on my side. And basically we started fooling around right next to them. And I knew that they could tell because I heard them snickering and laughing to each other. And in the moment, I didn't even care. I don't know what was going through my teenage brain, but I just did not care. But I was really confused because I was like, why is this the size of a carrot? Like, why is my hand on a carrot? This is the first time I've ever experienced a micro, so my mind was blown. Thinking back to this story, I'm just like, what was I doing? Why did I do that next to my friends?
Men laugh at other men who take women that they've been with serious. It's like, boy, you got what?
Had that.
Been there, done that. Other women may try to say that same type of time. Oh, babe, I've had that. No, babe, you ain't had them like this, though. It's in a man's nature to desire a woman or to desire women. It's in your innate nature to be like, dang, she look good. Why your woman is there? That's in a man's nature to just be like, yo, she is a good-looking woman. That's not to say that you want to pursue her. Now, a woman may say the same thing and says, that dude looks good. Cool. The thing that makes any woman valuable is her being a virtuous woman. If Peter, Paul, and Patrick can say that they done been with your woman, that value has went down.
Right.
This is what we call a double standard.
Exactly. If your girl was a homie hopper and now you wife her up, it makes you look ridiculous, and everyone knows it. Guys, that's all I have for this video. If you like the content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.